जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय, श्याम वेद भक्त वृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to assembled devotee, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotee, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotee, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana. Go ahead, Alec.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. So Hare Krishna, today we are reading Canto 3, Chapter 1, text number 37 and 38. Kim. So I will read text number 37 3 times, and then you can recite, and then I will read text 38 myself. Kim va kratadesh agam natyamarshi bhima hivadirgatamam vyamunchirchat yashangripatam ranabhurnasehe Margam gadaya sacharato vichitram kim va kratadesh adhamatyamarshi bhimo hivadirgatamam vyamunchat vyasangripatam ranabhurnasehe Margam gadaya charato vichitram Kim va kratadeshva adham atyamarshi bhimo hivadirgatamam vyamunchat yashangripatam ranabhurnasehe margam gadaya sacharato vichitram. Please recite.
Vitakte agam atyamasi bhumo hiva dirga tamam vyamuchat yasyan vikpatam ranabhursan nane se margam gadayas charato vichitram.
Imva kritageshva agam atamashi bhimo vad dirgatamam vyamunchat yasyangri patam ranabhornasehe margam gadayas charato vichitram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kimba kritage agama attamarshi bhimo abhid dirghatam bhayamuchat yashangrihi patam ranabhir nasheshe margam gadasyarato vichitram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I will read the word-to-word translation. Kim, whether, va, either, krata, performed, ageshu, unto sinner, agam, angry, atim, amarshi, unconquerable, bhima, bhima, ahivat, like cobra, dirgham tamam, long cherished, vyamunchat, has released, yasha, whose, angripatam, putting on the steps, ranabhum, buha, the field of battle, na, could not, say hey, tolerate, mragam, the path, margam, the path, gadaya, by the club, karataha, playing. Vimuk Vichitram. Wonderful. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please tell me whether the unconquerable Bhim, who is like a cobra, has released his long cherished anger upon the sinner. The field of battle could not tolerate even the wonderful playing of his club when he stepped on the path. Purport. Vidura knew the strength of Bhim. Whenever Bhim was on the battlefield, his steps on the path and the wonderful playing of his club were unremarkable for the enemy. Powerful Bhim did not take steps against the sons of Dhritarashtra for a long time. Vidur's inquiry was whether he had yet released his anger, which was like that of a suffering cobra. When the cobra releases its venom after long cherished anger, the victim cannot survive. Text number 38. Kachiryaşodharathayuthapânam Gandhivadhano paratarirashte alakshito yacharkutamuguro maya kirato girishas tutosha. Please tell me whether Arjuna, whose bow bears the name of Gandiva, and who is always famous amongst the chariot warriors for vanishing his enemy, and is doing well. He once satisfied Lord Shiva by covering him with arrows when Shiva came as an unidentified false hunter. Purport. Lord Shiva tested Arjuna's strength by picking a quarrel with him over a hunted boar. He confronted Arjuna in the false dress of a hunter, and Arjuna covered him with the arrows until Lord Shiva was satisfied with Arjuna's fighting. He offered Arjuna the Pashupati weapon and blessed him. Here Vidura inquired about the great warrior's well-being. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunimitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. So Hare Krishna devotees, I will like to add something. Prabhupada wrote nice purport. This is about the inquiry of Vidurji. Vidurji was on the pilgrimage, and on his way when he was near Yamuna river, he visited all the kshetra of the Dwarka and the places where Krishna went to Golok Vrindavan. So he visited all those places, and many places he visited and did the proper darshan of all the deities and got the blessings of all the great devotees, great saints. And ultimately, when he was coming near Yamuna, he met Uddhavji. Uddhavji was, as we know, he was very great friend of Lord Krishna, his cousin of Lord Krishna, and he wanted to know about the welfare of everybody. Although he knew many things, but he just wanted to confirm from a great source, because Uddhavji was very knowledgeable, great devotee. He was very intimate with Lord Krishna, and he was looking like Lord Krishna actually in his shape and his body features. So in the beginning, Krishna, he asked about, because everybody's welfare, all our welfare depends on Lord Krishna actually. That's why Vidurji starts asking about the welfare of the Lord. How is Krishna doing? So we read already that how is Lord Krishna, the original personality of God, Krishna and Balram. He said they descended on this earth on the request of Lord Brahma. So how they are doing? After that, he started inquiring about Yadus. So there were Yadu family and the Kuru. So Lord Krishna was in the Yadu family, and all the Pandavas and Kauravas, they are in the Kuru family. They are descendant of Kuru. So after he asked about the Yadus, how is Vasudeva, Pradyumna, how is Ugrasen, Samba, Akrur, Devaki, everybody's Anuruddha and all those people, So he was asking about all Krishna, Balram, and all his family members. So after asking that, then he inquired about the Kurus. So last shloka 36 we read about when he's asking about Yudhishthir Maharaj, because he's the first Kuru, a very pious person, and Dharmaraj avatar. So he asked about him first, and then he inquired about Bhima and Arjuna, because Bhima was the second Pandava, and then he asked about the Pandya. So what the shlokas we are reading today is 37 and 38. First, he asked about Bhim, because Bhim was number two son, and Arjun was number three, and after that Nakul and Sahadev. So these five Pandavas were there. So he's asking everybody's welfare, and that was very good for him to ask about, because they were not normal souls. They were very special people, very close to Lord Krishna, because Krishna so many times came to their house, staying there for a long time. So, and that shows actually how close Krishna was, and how Krishna coming and respecting Bhima and Yudhishthir Maharaj, because they were elder, and then Arjuna was his Sakha, his friend, and Nakul Sahadev, he will bless them, and so he will have cordial relations with everyone, Lord Krishna. So in this today's shlok, actually, he is asking for Bhima. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, actually, we are reading, that's very nice thing, because it actually opens our heart, it cleans our heart. And we need to clean our heart, because tomorrow Janmashtami is coming. And if we have clean heart, Krishna will come. In dirty heart, Krishna doesn't want to come. So we have to cleanse our heart. And how we can cleanse our heart? By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day. And we all are hearing, and so that's a very good thing. So by hearing, we can purify our heart. And because Krishna is like sun, so when sun comes, all the darkness goes away. So similarly, all darkness in our heart. What is darkness in our heart? Is our ignorance. So our ignorance will go away by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why we hear, and tomorrow is the special day. We should pray to Krishna to take away all our ignorance. So that way we can serve Krishna more better way, and we should take the blessings of Lord, their Lordship, Lord Krishna. So that way we can purify ourselves. So let us go to this shloka. So he's asking, Vidura already knew the strength of Bhima actually. So, but he is still asking whether the unconquerable Bhim, who is like the cobra. So, why Bhim was compared with cobra? Because he had so much anger against Duryodhan and his all the brothers, because they insulted. They had all the Kauravas. They had really like enigmatic behavior right from his birth. They were very jealous of Bhima, because Bhima has so much strength, unconquerable. His body was very strong. So that's why it says in this shloka that whenever Bhima was on the battlefield, his steps on the path, how he was taking the steps, nobody could come in front of him. And when he was going, he was moving his gada, his club, and his club was so heavy, many quintals of weight, that big, nobody can even move it 1 inch, but Bhim was lifting it and playing with it, when he was walking. It was unbearable for the enemies. Enemy could not see that, how Bhim really plays with his, and his steps were so strong. When he was going, nobody will dare to come in front of him. But he was holding his anger, and he was angry because Duryodhan, right from the childhood, he wanted to kill him actually, Duryodhan and all his brothers. And Karna was helping him, and Shakuni was helping him. So Shakuni helped him, and Shakuni and the Duryodhan, they gave him poison, right, in the childhood and threw him in the river. But somehow or the other, by the Lord's blessing, because all the Pandavas were protected by Lord Krishna. So by Krishna's blessing, he was received by Naga king Vasuki, and Vasuki gave him a nectar to drink. So when he drank that nectar, so no poison can affect him. So he gradually came out of the poisonous effect what Duryodhan gave him. And then Vasuki actually blessed him to have the strength of 10,000 elephants. So he was very, very powerful. And later on, we know they put him in the Lakshagraha and also tried to burn the Pandavas. After that, we know how in the Kauravas of Kurusabha, Draupadi, which was one of his wife actually, she was wife of all five Pandavas. So how she was insulted, and Bhima actually, when the Karna and everybody was telling that come and sit on my thigh and all those things, they were trying to disrobe her. So this was the greatest insult of Pandavas actually in the Kurusabha. And but he was quiet. He could have killed the Duryodhan and the Karna right at that spot, but Yudhishthir Maharaj told him not to do that. So that's why he was keeping his anger inside. And when the time came in Mahabharata, so we know how he killed Duryodhan and all his brothers. Bhima single-handedly killed all the Pandavas, all not Pandavas, sorry, all the Kauravas, all 99 brothers, and then he killed at the end he killed Duryodhan. So all 100 sons of the Dharashtra were killed by Bhima alone. So Yudhishthira is asking here that whether he had yet released his anger, because when the cobra releases his anger, as Prabhupada is writing, at that time nobody can survive if cobra bites after a long time. So if he keep the poison, poison gets more and more concentrated, and that poison, it's so much poisonous effect on the person, then cannot survive actually. The victim cannot survive, as Prabhupada is putting in. And we know how Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe. Now, Dhritarashtra's son actually tried to disrobe Draupadi in the Kuru assembly. So what happened? Bhima, Bhishma and Drona were silent. They were not, because they should not have, they were seeing, they had eyes, they were seeing what is going on. They should have stopped this nonsense actually. But they didn't stop because they were eating the salt of Duryodhan or Kauravas. And that's why they actually, they neglected their duty, what is their dharma. So because they were on wrong side actually, that's why they should have been killed actually. And that's why they were killed in Mahabharata actually. We know Mahabharata war, they were killed. Actually, if we see character of Bhishma was a very great devotee of Lord Krishna. But because it was Krishna's desire that Bhishma lives on the side of the Kauravas, because if suppose Bhishma was on the side of Pandavas, what will happen? He will never ever fight. Duryodhan will not have, because he had all the strength, because Bhishma and Karna was on his side. Karna was also Pandav actually. He was the eldest brother of all the Pandavas. So, and Draupadi told him at the end, but Krishna actually changed his mind also. Then he stayed there, because these two stayed on the side of the Kauravas. That's why Duryodhan could fight, because he was having so much trust in these warriors. Otherwise, he will never fight like that. He will not even start the war. So it was Krishna's will that because Krishna comes with some particular purpose on this earth. Pavtaranaya sadhunam vinashaya kaduskritam. So he came to kill all the demons actually who has demoniac tendencies. So demons are not separate; they are also human beings, but people have demoniac mentality, So that mentality Krishna destroys, because as we know, all the demons and all the devatas, all the human beings, they all are children of all the great saints, So from one sister, all the all the demons were born, and from one sister all the devatas were born. So they are father was the same actually. So we know that how they are all same family, but still, one sister's children were all the demons actually. So we can imagine how. So Krishna actually wanted to kill that all the demons on face of the earth. That's why Mother Earth went to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji went to pray Lord Krishna to come and kill all the demons. So Krishna have killed all the demons himself, but he, like right from sitting from Golok Vrindavan, but he came here just for the Pavitranaya Sadhunam actually. And I was talking about Bhishma, why Bhishma lived on the wrong side, because it was Krishna's Leela, and Krishna wanted him to stay other side, so his purpose on the battlefield can be solved. And Karna's also mentality was changed, and he stayed with the Kaurava side because he was thinking, because Duryodhana is my friend, and he gave me the kingdom and he is feeding me, so I should stay. And same for the eating the food of Kauravas, Bhishma's mind also was contaminated. And we know that at the end, when Bhishma died, Lord Krishna was there, all the Pandavas there, and actually he gave knowledge to Yudhishthir Maharaj and all the Pandavas because Krishna wanted that. So it shows, how great Bhishma was, but he was on the wrong side, and that's why he was killed like that. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna only. And why he showed Arjuna the form? To give him the courage, because he was despondent and he didn't wanted to fight anymore. But then Krishna showed that in the universal form, he showed that all the warriors actually were killed by Krishna himself. They are already dead. That's why he said, just for the sake of killing, just kill them. They are already dead, and by Krishna. So he was just like following the order of Krishna. That's why Arjuna was fighting, because in his mind, he was thinking that I should not kill anybody, especially my elders. And so Arjuna was in dilemma, two kind of dilemma. First thing, his family died. One is Guru, one is his like Pitamaha, and one is his Guru. He taught him all those things. So, and his uncle, who is Dhritarashtra, and how he can kill his uncle and all his adult people. So that was his dilemma. And on second side, as a Kshatriya, it was his duty to kill the enemy. Whosoever is on opposite side, he is to kill. So he could not decide, which side is better. And that's why Krishna gave him whole Bhagavad Gita for all of us, because Krishna wanted to give Bhagavad Gita for the whole world, to hear, because Krishna knew very well that how the people's memory will be. Suppose there was no Bhagavad Gita, then how that great knowledge will come on this face of this earth, in the Kali Yuga. Because Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, these are the two great granthas, who is holding the religion, what is the true dharma. So this is very important, and Krishna actually made Arjuna like that. So he get weak, and then he will sit down, and put his weapons, his dhanush, and then Krishna can give him the real knowledge for all of us. It's not like Arjuna was so close to Krishna and so friendly. He had so much knowledge, but how he can get weak like that, being so strong Kshatriya? But that was the reason actually that Krishna wanted. And we can see in last shloka that Yudhishthir was thinking, he was thinking about protecting Draupadi, but he wanted to respect his father like Dhritarashtra, because his Dhritarashtra was his very fatherly, like he was his great father's big brother. And we know that Pandu was the real father of all the Pandavas. And but Pandu got the curse from a rishi that if he had sex with even his wife, he will be dead at the same moment, because he killed the arrow when one rishi and his wife were mating, because they didn't have any house, so they have to meet in the jungle, under the tree. So they were mating there, and he was thinking that some animal is there, because he was just hearing the sound, and then he sent the arrow and it killed them. But before dying, that rishi cursed him that whenever you have sex, you will be died. So he could not have any children, Pandu. So then, on request of Pandu, his wives Madri and Kunti, because Kunti had the Vardhan, the blessing from Durvasa Muni, that she can invoke any demigod and they will come and bless him with the child. So that's why from the permission from her husband, then he invoked Yamraj and Dharmaraj, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj came. He invoked Vayudev, and Bhim came, and he invoked Indra, and then Arjuna came, like that. So all the five Pandavas came like that by the blessings of all these powerful demigods. So actually, there are different etiquettes in the Vedic tradition, and the Yudhishthira Maharaj was following those traditions, and that's why he was keeping quiet, even though his wife was so much insulted, but he was still tolerating it, and he told his brothers not to oppose, let it happen, because they want Draupadi and we all are now slaves, like, so we have to listen to them. So similarly, there are tradition that God brother should be respected, same way is the guru. So many gurus we see, how they respect all the God brothers and how they take care of their God brothers. So we can see how Bhima and Arjuna was also listening to eldest brother, the Yudhishthira Maharaj. Although they were ready to kill Shakuni and Karna and Duryodhana at the same time, but they did not. So it's a very important tradition, that we have to listen to elders in the family and respect them nicely and listen whatever they say. And this tradition was going on, but now this tradition we are seeing, no children listen to parents, and that's why they suffer at the end. They put them in the nursing homes, and in the older age, they suffer so much. So we have to teach our children, our Vedic tradition, how actually we should respect elders. Then our children will too, and we have to behave the same way. We have to keep trying, and helping our parents, ourselves. And then our children will see that. Then they will behave like that. If we insult our parents in front of our children, when we get older, definitely our children will do the same thing with us. People don't think that, and then they suffer when they get old. So that's why Bhima and Arjuna, everybody hold their anger inside. And that's why in this shloka we are reading that he hold his anger for so many years. And then at the end, when the Mahabharata war started, Bhima, just like a cobra, he he get away all his poison, whatever was inside for long, long time. And Bhishma was sinful not for acting like that when Draupadi was disrobed. He should have actually stopped this thing, but he could not. Because if you are on wrong side, you will live with sin. So this gives us the education that we should not never ever support the wrong side. Otherwise, the same thing will happen to us also, like Bhishma. Bhishma and Drona were good, very good persons actually. But they thought that they are duty born, but they could have opposed for any adharma, whatever was going on. So duty born means, by you have to get by force, you have to do something which you don't like it, which is wrong, that is wrong, but still you are doing, that's a duty born. Like we are in the company, company is doing something wrong, but we say, okay, if we oppose this, then we will be thrown out of our job. And that's why we keep mum. We don't open our mouth, So, but this is wrong actually, because truth all the time prevails. Telling the truth is important, but sometimes we have to use our brain also. Like we have heard that story, Srila Prabhupada tells many times that one yogi, one tapasvi, was doing tapasya in his hermitage, and then he saw a man, actually, a cow was hiding. She went in his ashram and hiding inside, and some hunters were behind the cow. They wanted to kill the cow. But now at that time, what was the duty of that sage? If he says, yes, I saw the cow and she's in my heart, then they will kill her right away. And if he says, no, I didn't see, that cow's life will be saved. So at that time, he said, no, I never saw to the dacoits, who were like hunters who were trying to kill the cow. So we have to use our brain sometime, but most of the time we have to say the truth actually. Otherwise, this is the cause of death of many, many people, because they don't stay with the truth and they go to hell that way. And also, like Bhishma took the vow that I will, whosoever sits on the gaddi, like on the Raj gaddi or the Simhasan, he will be supporting that king. But he should have not said that way, because whenever you take the vow, you have to be very, very careful, because you don't know what happens in the future. Because some bad king come and then he has to support a bad king, and that's what actually happened. The Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra, they were all kings, which were not following the proper Vedic culture, what proper dharma. And similarly, we can see how Yudhishthira Maharaj, didn't follow the truth. What is the truth actually? Our dharma. Dharma is given by Krishna. Dharma is to Sakshat Bhagavad Pranito. So it is given by Lord Krishna. So when Krishna told Yudhishthira that you said Aswathama Hato Naro Va Kunjaro, and Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I cannot say that. So he said that you say Aswathama, you say whole thing, Aswathama Hato Naro Va Kunjaro. But when he started saying either this was Nara, means a human being, or Kunjaro means elephant, in front of Dronacharya, So when Dronacharya heard that Ashwathama died, then he became suddenly weak and he dropped his bow and arrow. So, but when Yudhishthira Maharaj didn't listen, Krishna, because whatever Krishna says, that should be taken as a truth, because that's our dharma. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he didn't hear, he was actually saying no to Krishna, that I cannot say that, That's why after that incident, because all the Pandavas were great souls, their rath were going 2 inches above the ground. They were not touching the ground actually. Like all the devatas, when they come to this earth, they cannot put their foot on the earth. They are above the ground, and few inches above the ground. So Yudhishthir's rath after that, is started touching the ground. So he should have listened to Krishna. So when Bhishma was, we know that when Bhishma was on the arrow, he actually wanted to wait till the Mahabharat war finishes, by till the end of the Mahabharat. And he did not speak the truth unless all the bones were there only, all the meat and everything, because this was all flesh, his flesh was formed of eating of the food of Kansa, not Kansa, from the Duryodhana and the Dhritarashtra. That's why he wanted to finish that meat in his body, and then bare bones, he was talking to Krishna at that time, his whole concentration was on Lord Krishna. He was seeing the face of Krishna before leaving the body. So we can see how lucky he was that Krishna was present right there. So now we will read little bit about from Mahabharata. I went through little bit about Bhima and Arjuna, what is written in Mahabharata, and it's a very good description because today is the day for description for Bhima and Arjuna. So as we know, he is the second Pandav. That's what describes in Mahabharata, and he is son of Vayuputra. He is Vayuputra. That's Vayuputra is Hanumanji also, as we know. So actually Hanumanji and the Bhima, they are kind of brothers because the same father. And in the Mahabharata, we can see how Bhima shows his might, how because he was Vayuputra, he has so much strength because Vayuputra is like wind god. And right from the childhood, we know that Shakuni and Duryodhan were his enemy, and they tried to kill him multiple times. And he was poisoned and he was thrown in the Ganges river. Then there was Lakshagraha, we know, when actually Vidurji helped them, and they sent him the message to Yudhishthira Maharaj, coded message, but Yudhishthira Maharaj can understand the codes, that, and they made it, Yudhishthira Maharaj, they had a tunnel right from the Lakshagraha, that palace of wax, and when the fire was there, they all ran away from that tunnel in the jungle. So at that time, we can see the might of Bhima. Bhima took all the Pandavas and Kunti and also Draupadi in his shoulders. Everybody was sitting on his arms, and he was lifting them and going through the tunnel and went to the jungle. The tunnel was opening in the jungle, which Vidurji actually sent his people and dug that tunnel. So they went through the tunnel out. So we can imagine how strong he was. And after the Lakshagraha burning, Kunti actually suggested that these people, all the Kauravas are against us, so we should stay some days hiding, So they were going here and there in the like incognito and in the forest. So at that time, Bhima actually went in the jungle and he killed several Rakshasas like Bakasur and Hidamba. Hidamba was brother of Hidambi. Hidambi was Bhim's wife actually. And so Bakasur was we all heard about how Bakasur was killed. This Bakasur is not same Bakasur which was the brother of Putana, Bakasur, Nagasur. So this Bakasur was a demon, which was in a village where they were hiding, and that demon was going in the town and killing so many people every single day. So the town people actually requested that Rakshasa that we will send one person every single day for you under the tree, and you sit down and eat that man. So every day where they were sending. So when Bhim and Draupadi were staying with one family, So that family was crying because their son was supposed to go on that day. So Draupadi asked, Kunti asked actually, why you are crying? So we heard this thing in the Mahabharat serial. When I was when serial was coming, I was looking forward, to see next scene, next scene, next scene, next scene. So it was so great, at that time. So we have heard that when the Brahmani told Kunti Maharani that my son is going today for this. So she said, don't worry, don't cry. I will send my son Bhim. And they didn't wanted, they said, you are our guest, we cannot send. He will kill him. He said, don't worry. He will take care of that Rakshasa. So when Bhim went with cart full of food, so Bhim actually went, and while in the way, he ate all the food, all the cart, and then he went there. And when Rakshasa saw that there is no food in the cart, Bhim ate everything. So he started fighting with Bhim, and Bhim killed him within few minutes, And then it was so good for the whole town. Whole town was actually saying that he did so good for the whole town actually, and killed. So when he was in forest, Bhim actually had three wives. One is Hidambi, which was her brother was Hidamba, which was killed by Bhima. And then we know that Draupadi was his wife also. The Draupadi was wife for all Pandavas. And third wife was Valandhara. Valandhara was the Kashi Naraj, Kashi's kingdom, Kashi's king. That was his daughter. And he had three sons, one son from each wife. So Ghatotkacha was son of Hidambi. And then there was son from Draupadi, and his name was Sutasom. And then the son from Valandhar was Savarga. So these three sons were. Similarly, Arjuna also had four wives, and he has four sons, one from each wife. And when all the brothers, when they returned back with Mother Kunti and Draupadi, then the Dhritarashtra thought, that there is no sense in fighting like that. So let us give them some kingdom, So they divided their kingdom into Hastinapur and Indraprastha. So Indraprastha was given to Pandavas. And then they made a very nice, beautiful city of Indraprastha, with help of Lord Krishna. And we heard about how the Khandaprastha was given to them, and how they made a nice palace. And in that palace, Duryodhana and all the Kauravas went, and how they were surprised to see the opulence of the Dhritarashtra Yudhishthira Maharaj. So they were very jealous, They were jealous right from the beginning, but they got more jealous. And then they invited all the Pandavas for the game. So, and then Sakuni was played a trick, and then they lost everything in the dice game. So this happened, and then second time, because they lost everything, then Draupadi was giving course in the Kuru Sabha, and at that time, he said that, okay, you live 13 years in the forest, and then you come back. And so 13 years they lived in the forest. Out of that 12 years, they can live in the forest. About 1 year, they should stay in incognito. And at that time, nobody can recognize them. If they recognized, then they have to stay again 13 years, next 13 years. So actually, Kauravas were looking for all the all the all the Pandavas where they are hiding. They were. That's why when in the year of incognito, Agyatavas, they were hiding at the palace of King Virat, which is the Matsya Nagri, Matsya Kingdom. So they were hiding there, and actually they heard something, that they may be there. So they actually started fighting with Virat King. They sent the Sena, and Virat King was out of palace at that time. He went somewhere else, and he was fighting with some other kings, at that time, all the Pandavas came, together. Not Pandavas, all the Kauravas with the Bhishma and Karna and everyone else, came together and fighting with a small kingdom. So that was the last day of their incognito Agyatwas. So at that time, when Arjuna said, "Don't worry," Arjuna was in the form of a eunuch. His name was Brahanlata. So he told, the prince, his name was Uttar. He was Uttara's brother. So he said, "Come here and I will be your chariot driver." So he went there, and then when he went there, it was already afternoon, and that time, Agyatwas was finished. So Arjuna went, he told that, "I'm Arjun, so don't worry. I will fight with all the Kauravas." And then he went to a tree, where he was hiding all the weapons. He took his bow and arrow and all the other weapons. He had so many celestial weapons. So he took them, and then he fought single-handedly alone with all the Kurus, Bhishma, Karna. He defeated everyone. So everyone was wondering who has this much power except Arjuna. So they said that you broke because they were counting the day differently than the Pandavas were counting, So they said that your Agyatwas is not done. That's where they were not giving them any kingdom, and that's what whole Mahabharata happened. So Arjuna actually was living there as Brahanlata, and like a eunuch, because let me tell you that story also, because one time, when all the Pandavas decided, like when they got the Draupadi in Swayambar, and Arjuna actually pierced the arrow in the eye of a fish which was moving, not seeing the fish, but seeing in the water or oil, and standing in the oil and seeing down, and then piercing the eye of the fish, which was actually rotating round and round. So nobody could do that. So Arjuna did it, and he was at that time in the guise of like a Brahmana. All the 5 Pandavas were in the form of Brahmanas, and so at that time, when they were coming home with Draupadi, and then because they used to go for alms every single day, and then so then Arjuna said to Kunti that his mother, she was in the hut. So he says, mother, we got something very nice today. And so mother said that, okay, you all divide her, and then you all take that. So that mother used to say that many times in the past. So it doesn't. She never knew that they are bringing a one, but all the brothers, 5 brothers, actually obeyed the order of mother, to divide. So share everybody. So, and also another reason at that time, Yudhishthir Maharaj, who was the eldest brother, he was not married, and so that way, what happened? They decided that, okay, we all 5 will be marrying to Draupadi. So Draupadi married to all 5 Pandavas, first Yudhishthira Maharaj, then Arjun, and they made a pact that every one month, Draupadi will stay with one Pandav only, and at that time, other Pandavas cannot come in their room, whatever may be the reason, they all stay outside. So, but one time, when somebody was taking the cows of a Brahmana, then the Brahmana crying, and coming to hermitage of all the Pandavas and asking help at that time, because Arjuna wanted to protect the cows and also had tried to help a Brahmana, but his arrow and bow were in the room where Yudhishthira Maharaj was with Draupadi. So he could not go, but he said that for saving them, I can go to the room and take my bow. So he went, and then he decided that now I should go for 1 year in the separate forest. And then he was supposed to be celibate, So, but then what happened? Arjuna went inside. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "You are my younger brother. If you came inside, no problem at all. So don't go to forest." But he still kept whatever the pact was there. So he went to the forest, and then he married two different people, and having. So Arjuna actually married at that time to 4 different wives. So one wife was Ulupi, and then Chitrangada, and then he married to Krishna's sister also, Subhadra, and of course the Draupadi was his wife too. So that these are the 4 wives, and with the 4 wives he had one child from everybody. Ulupi From Ulupi had Shrutkarma, and from Chitrangada he had Eravan, and then from Subhadra he had the Abhimanyu, and he had Babruvahan. So these are the 4. Eravan was the son of Draupadi, and Babruvahan was son of Chitrangada. So these are and Babruvahan was, we all know that how strong was Babruvahan, but Babruvahan was whosoever is the strong side, he will go there. So in Mahabharata, Krishna never let him come to the Mahabharata war, because he could have killed single-handedly many Yoddhas, but Krishna was worried that he will think, that okay, Kaurav side was more stronger and he can go to the other side, and fight against the Pandavas. So that's why Krishna never allowed him. And he put Babruvahan on the top of the mountain, and he said that, okay, now you watch the whole war, and I will come at the end and ask you that who won the war, and how, and describe the war. So at the end of the Mahabharata, we know how Krishna and with all the Pandavas came, because Arjuna had some pride after killing all the Kuru Sena, that I did it. So at that time, Krishna brought Arjuna there and all other Pandavas and asked Babruvahan, what you saw? And Babruvahan said that Krishna killed everyone. So we can imagine, how Arjuna felt at that time, that I didn't do anything, That means actually Krishna killed everybody right from the beginning. So he was the main person, he was killing everyone. So these 4 sons, they were all Abhimanyu. We heard about how Abhimanyu was Subhadra, who was Subhadra's son. And actually, at the end, when they were in the Virat kingdom, in Agyatavas, at that time, Virat king, actually, when he knew that these all are Pandavas who are staying in my kingdom, so he wanted to give Uttara to Arjun. But Arjun said, I taught her, I was his dance teacher, so teacher cannot marry a student. But anyway, he wants, so, but Arjuna said, okay, my son is of her age, so let me ask my son, and then he will marry Uttara. So ultimately, Uttara was married to Abhimanyu. And then, so these are all great Pandavas, and we know how Arjuna has so many names in Bhagavad Gita, like Dhananjay, Gudakesh, Savyaswachi, and what else? Mahabahu, Gandhiudhari, and Kaunteya, and Panduputra, and his name was Urahanla when he was hiding in the 13th year of exile. So this way, all the all the Pandava, his sons, sons of Bhim, sons of Arjun, they were all very, very strong and very powerful people. And the whole Mahabharata was there. So there is one more thing I will say, and then I will end. Like in 38th shloka, Lord Shiva tested Arjun's strength. Actually, Lord Shiva wanted to know Arjun is that strong, that he can fight in Mahabharata war. So, and he wanted to give him some weapon. So he just wanted to test how strong he is before giving him some weapon. So he came in the form of a hunter. And then Indra became a boar. And when he saw a boar, he actually Arjuna throw his arrow on that boar. And then at the same time, he saw another arrow is coming. And before his arrow reached there, that bow, it hit the boar also. So then they both, Arjuna and that hunter, who was Lord Shiva actually, they came near the boar, and then he told, that I killed him, and he started fighting without. He said, "No, it's boar is mine because I killed," and he said, and Shiva said, "I killed her," and then they both has very fierce fighting, Shiva and Arjuna. And actually, Arjuna threw so much arrows that he covered Lord Shiva all around. And Shiva knew the strength, and Shiva was very happy with Arjuna, and he showed him his real form that I am Lord Shiva, and I'm so happy with you. And I came here just to test your strength. And I bless you, and I will give you my Pashupatri Astra to you. And that Arjuna used in the Mahabharata war. Similarly, Arjuna went in that year, when he was in incognito, like 1 year he was living in the forest, when he broke his promise that, and he went to the Yudhishthir's chamber when he was with the Draupadi. At that time, he went out for 1 year. At that time, he went to Swargalok also, and there his father was there, Indra. Indra respected him, and actually he was very happy that my son is here. And but at that place also there is one more story I would like to say about what was his name. There was a Rambha or some one of the what do you say,
Apsaras?
Apsaras of Indra. And so she was very attracted to the beauty of Arjuna and his strength and everything. So she actually wanted him to marry him, Urvashi. Okay, so Urvashi was there, Apsara, Urvashi, and so when he was in Swargalok, he actually so much impressed, and he actually proposed to Urvashi that, okay, what is her intention to make love with her, and he said he didn't want it to, because Urvashi was motherly for him, because Arjuna's forefather, many, many, many generations before, it was King Pururava. Pururava's story we read in Bhagavatam, that Urvashi was having affair with him, with the Pururava, and how Pururava was so like blinded with her love that when he left, Urvashi left him, then how crazy he became actually, how much in anxiety, and he was crying, like that. So he said that you are my mother actually. And then Urvashi got very offended with that. And he felt very much insulted that I'm so beautiful and everybody is dying for me. And see Arjuna, what he's telling me, mother. So he cursed him that you will be eunuch for rest of your life. And so, but anyway, Indra was Arjun's father, so Indra requested Urvashi that don't don't give him that kind of curse. So he said that, okay, I will reduce my curse to only 1 year. And that curse actually helped him become eunuch for 1 year. And that's why he became Prahalata at that time. And he taught the art of dancing and music to Virat's son Uttara, Virat's daughter Uttara. So this is the story now, almost time, 9 o'clock. So I will end here. And there are so many stories of Bhim and Arjuna and Mahabharata, and we have all seen in Mahabharata serial also many things. So whatever in short time I could recite it, I said that, but there are so many more very nice story. But Bhim and Arjuna both were great souls, so close to Lord Krishna. And if we discuss their stories also, Krishna will be very happy with that, because Krishna, they were great devotees of Krishna, and that's why Bhagavatam is all about stories of his great devotees and also all the leelas of Lord Krishna. So Krishna becomes happy when we hear the glories of his devotees. So all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories to Lord Krishna and all his devotees. Thank you very much for hearing. Any question, comments, we can discuss it now in few minutes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for reciting all these pastimes. Very nice to hear. There is so much to hear in Mahabharata and so much to learn, from the different qualities of all of these devotees. The main thing is how they held on to dharma through. And, one of the comments you said is, no matter what, we should be making the right associations and right choices. Sometimes it is easy when we hear this, we can tell, Bhishma had taken the side, not the right side, how Yudhishthir. But when we have to make those choices in the present time, I find it a little bit more difficult, So do you have any suggestions of how to
Actually,
know?
as I said, Bhishma actually was on wrong side because Krishna wanted that way. Otherwise, he was great soul. But Krishna wanted to kill all the demons, and it was right. Krishna wanted that he stays at the other side. Otherwise, Duryodhan will never have fight. Mahabharata war would not happen. And that's why he stayed there. And whatever Krishna wants, that happens. So when we make choice, we should see the dharma, that what dharma says, and then we have to see if the Prabhupada will be happy with our action. If Krishna will be happy with our action, and then we have to make right choice. So it's up to us. That's why Krishna has given us some independence to make the right choice. And we have to see how Prabhupada will feel, if we do this kind of action. And that way we can make, Krishna will give us intelligence from inside in our heart. He gives the knowledge, he gives the intelligence, everything comes from Krishna. So we should do proper job, by deciding, what we have to do. Because doing is in our hand, but and thinking is in our hand, what is the right thing. So we should do accordingly. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Mother Goloknanda Priya has her hand up. Just one last question. How is Uddhava Krishna's cousin?
Yes, he's Vasudeva's brother's son. Vasudeva, the real brother's son.
Okay.
Brother's son. Yeah. So
Go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah, actually, I have a similar question about, taking sides. Sometimes, we don't mean to take side, but we happen to be like friend with somebody who is enemy of somebody else. So, kind of dilemma, because we don't hate each party. We just in the middle. So how do you deal with it sometimes? Because the other party, both parties think that you're taking each other's side. So I can say,
yeah, it's a hard question. We live in Kali Yuga. There are so many things going on. People are so much impious in this age. So it's very difficult. But actually, everybody is good. The only problem is our demoniac tendencies. Yeah, we should not hate anybody. We should not have envy with anybody. This should be the principle. But we should stay away from the people who has too many demoniac qualities. We all the time try to preach the people, talk to the people about Krishna, but as a devotee, we should do that, but we have to be very careful, that we should not get influenced from them. We should impress them about giving them Krishna rather than taking some bad habit from them. So we have to be very careful, but we should not have envy with anybody, even if it is our friend's friend or our friend's enemy. He should not be automatically our enemy. We should not have any enemy at all, actually. Yeah, everybody, we should have friendly relation, but don't associate with them. Don't learn anything from them. That's it. So because there are so many bad people in this world, how we will avoid them? We cannot avoid. We live in Kali Yuga, and we have to do what is right. I hope that I answered your question, but we can discuss later. Yeah. Anything else, Mataji?
Yeah, very nice. Thank you for attending so many nice reminders of Mahabharata about different kind of pastime, of the Pandavas and Krishna. And another thing is that, like, what Arjuna, I was just reading, Prabhupada said, Arjuna, when he was thinking to protect his family, his grandfather, his brothers, and his cousin brothers and everybody, and he was just acting out of sense gratification. But when he was decided to fight, then he was just working for Krishna.
Yeah, because that was the will of Krishna, actually. Krishna wanted that way. So otherwise Arjuna was so strong, he will never get weakness in his heart and not to fight. He was Kshatriya, and he learned all the archery, and he was the best student of Drona. So how he can get weak and not fight? Think about not fighting, and he knew right from the beginning. We see when he was in Agyatwas, he fought with everybody, with Bhishma and Karna and Drona and everybody there. So at that time, he didn't think that way. And now in Mahabharata, he's thinking, Mahabharata war, he's thinking that way. So actually weakness came from Krishna's will, actually. Otherwise, it will never ever happen. Because Krishna wanted to give Bhagavad Gita to everyone, and that's why Krishna made them weak, so he can give the Bhagavad Gita at that point. So that was the main reason. And most of the things happens with Krishna's will, actually, especially with his devotees. Devotees all the time listen to whatever Krishna says. So that was the main reason. Thank you, Mataji, for your question. Anyone else has any comment or question? Otherwise, we will end here because it's past 9 now. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhye Vaishnavibhyo namo namah.
Thank you.
Prabhu, you have
Prabhu.
any announcement for tomorrow?
Yes. First today, I'd like to invite the devotees to come to the temple before the Sunday feast. Around 1:30, devotees will gather to cut vegetables and other preparations for the Janmashtami celebration tomorrow. The Sunday feast will be regular as scheduled. So after you're done helping, the Sunday feast program will begin. Tonight's class will be given by Mother Archana Bhakti. It'll be on Janmashtami so that we can prepare our consciousness for Krishna's appearance tomorrow. The appearance, as far as Janmashtami day itself, the darshan will be open all day, but the program will start at 5:30 p.m. and go on all the way through past midnight.
All right.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Sorry, I couldn't make it today.
Hare Krishna. So we can close for today.